Why public service loan forgiveness is so unforgiving. That's a great headline by NPR, but the reality is it is unforgiving if you don't do things correctly. But as we've learned by helping tens of thousands of FitBucks members qualify for PSLF, if you do things right, it's actually very forgiving. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video today is how to make sure you qualify for public service loan forgiveness, aka PSLF. If you're new to the YouTube channel, welcome. If you're new to the podcast and you're listening there, welcome as well. Again, if you're new, be sure to hit the subscribe button on YouTube or on the podcast. Why? Because we come out with content for 20 to 40-year-olds all the time, from student loans to home buying, retirement stuff. And our goal is to help as many of you as possible be able to navigate all the nuances of your personal finances. So hitting that subscribe button, it helps us grow. It helps you get notified. It's a win-win situation. Let's jump into how to qualify for PSLF. First and foremost, to qualify for PSLF, you have to have direct federal student loans. For most of you, that's not a big deal because if you've been borrowing since about 2008, they're going to be direct loans, so you don't have to worry about it. Some of the older borrowers, you might have to worry about it. You might have like FFEL loans, all that type of stuff. They do not qualify. So in order to qualify, you have to consolidate your loans into a direct loan. Now, it's not that cut and dry either, because once you consolidate, you start your clock all over again. So like if you've been in repayment for 15 years and you consolidate, that repayment schedule ticks off and starts going all over again. Now, President Biden had changed that and did a waiver on that. So did President Trump. Those waivers have expired. Will they come back in the future? We don't know. So if you don't have direct loans already, keep an eye out in the future, because you might be able to consolidate them again and not lose that time and have it count towards loan forgiveness. Number two is a big misconception that we see. You see, we get these phone calls all the time. People sign up as FitBucks members and they say, I try to qualify for public service loan forgiveness, but when I go on to studentaid.gov or my loan servicer, I can't find the repayment plan for it. And that's because public service loan forgiveness is not a repayment plan. The repayment plan that you have to be on is one of the income-driven repayment plans. Those are pay-as-you-earn, which is going away soon, might come back later, depends on the presidential election, we'll see. But pay-as-you-earn is one, income-based repayment is one, and the new SAVE program is one, the old repay program is one, ICR is one, but those are what you have to be on. An income-driven repayment plan. Public service loan forgiveness is a feature of those plans that say if you're on those plans and you make 120 on-time monthly payments while working full-time for a nonprofit, then your loans are forgiven after 10 years. So in order to qualify for public service loan forgiveness, you have to be on an income-driven repayment plan. Standard plans, like the standard 10-year plan, the standard 25-year plan, those do not count. Number three on how to qualify for public service loan forgiveness. Not only do you have to be on an income-driven repayment plan, you have to stay on the income-driven repayment plan. What do I mean by that? Okay, well, two instances that we see people make mistakes. You have to certify your income once a year. What certifying your income means is once a year you submit what your income is to the government, and then they come back and say, here's your payments for the next 12 months. If you don't do that, you will be kicked off of the income-driven repayment plan. And yes, you can get back on, but while they're putting you back on, those months that tick by don't count for the 120 months. The other area where we see people make a massive mistake is that they might not be able to make their monthly payment for whatever reason. Maybe you just graduated and you don't have the full income that you expect yet. Maybe you got laid off, whatever it may be. And they call their loan servicer and they say, I can't make this payment. And the loan servicer puts them on the forbearance. When you're on forbearance, you don't qualify anymore. You're not on the actual plan. You're on forbearance. So those months don't count. Instead, what you should be doing is saying, I had a drop in income. Let's say I got laid off. And you tell the loan servicer your income dropped. They will recertify your income at that point. Let's just say your income went to zero. They'll say your income is $0 a month and means your required payment is $0 a month. So that's a big difference. Required payment of zero or going on to forbearance. If you have a $0 required payment, it counts towards forgiveness. Okay, number 4, how to qualify for PSLF. Hit the like button on this video. Now, all seriousness, please hit the like button. It helps us grow the channel. It helps us get out to more people. So if you think this has been helpful so far, hit that like button. Let's get on to number 4. All right, so number 4, you must work full time at a nonprofit to qualify for PSLF. So what is full time? In the past, your employer would define what is full time. Okay? And so if they said 25 hours, great. If they said 35 hours, great. That's what it was. The Biden administration has changed that. They are now saying that it's 32 hours a week of work qualifies you as a full time employee. It doesn't matter if it's PRN work or part time work here and another job here. If it's over 32 hours at a nonprofit, it qualifies. Now, will that stay? We don't know. The reason being is because Congress passed the original law. Biden and the Department of Education just changed this part of it. Future presidents might change it. We don't know. Okay. But for now, it's 32 hours a week defined by the government. However, in the past, or if you're on this, be expected to potentially go back to where your employer defines what 32 hours a week is. Now, the other part of that, you have to be working at a nonprofit. That is a 501c3 company. It is a government agency. It is teaching at like a public university, that type of stuff. That is a very big key. The reason being is because let's just say you're a contractor working for a nonprofit. You don't qualify because you're a contractor. You don't actually work for the nonprofit. We see this a lot in healthcare, okay, where we see different healthcare workers that actually work for a for-profit company, but they're contracted by a nonprofit hospital. You do not qualify. So you have to make sure you actually work for the nonprofit. You can go to studentaid.gov, put in the EIN number that's on your pay stub, and they should be able to verify it. And so if your EIN number is saying, hey, you're declined and all that type of stuff, well, that leads to number 5, filling out your employment certification form.